There are a lot of doctors who work at universities, and there are a lot of doctors who are called professor, but shockingly, there are very few real academics. See, what's the difference between a real academic and somebody who merely has the trappings of being an academic? Well, most people in the academy, even to this day, pick up their beliefs and cues from people around them. They see what their mentor does, what their colleagues do, what their political and social circle believes in, and they internalize those beliefs without doing the hard work of unpacking the data. You see, to be a real academic, you have to take a deep dive into literature, which is what I try to do on this channel. You have to pick a paper and neglect or put aside what you've heard about the paper and ask yourself, if you were really analyzing this question from a neutral or impartial vantage, how might you view it? Even if the question is a loaded question where many quote-unquote experts have weighed in on, if you're a real academic, you don't take that for granted. Now, of course, I'm not saying you have to independently assess everything in the world. No one can do that. There's too many claims out there. And the truth is, many claims don't matter to us. I don't personally care that much about most claims. But when claims do matter, when they are important, you cannot take your cues from what you read online. We see online, I think, even in the academy, a growing polarization where our scientific views and our political views are becoming increasingly intertwined. That's very illogical. There is no political party that has the monopoly on the right scientific views. Thinking that is dangerous. And I say this as someone who's strongly left of center and has a political allegiance, but even I know that being very left of center doesn't mean I'm right about most scientific issues. And if I took all my scientific beliefs from people who were on my political side, I would believe a lot of wrong things. So it's important when you're in the academy and you're a real academic to do this hard work of picking social and political issues where there may be a cacophony of voices, stepping back and asking yourself what the evidence ought to be to make a strong causal conclusion, and going out and seeing what the evidence is and looking at it with unvarnished lens. I think one of the reasons that dialogue on social media becomes so personal and vehement and angry is because many people recognize that they have not done the hard work of training to read evidence, and they can only blow which way the wind is blowing. They're not capable of appraising an article and reaching a conclusion different than what they've been told by their peer group because they don't have those skills in their tool bag. If they venture to guess, they would get destroyed in the court of public opinion. So the best they can do is merely go along with the flow. And when someone comes along and points out things that they don't see or that are incorrect, they can often be angry towards such a person. But that is a juvenile emotional response. So what's my takeaway lesson here is, if you're going to be in the academy, and you don't have to be, there's a lot better places to go. They'll pay a lot more money and have a lot more freedom and a lot more privacy. But if you're in the academy, you got to battle the war of ideas as the ideas come. When there's an idea in your wheelhouse and you think it's wrong, or an idea in your wheelhouse and you think it's right, you have to independently appraise the evidence and see what you think. And that's the hallmark of a true academic.